Sure, yeah. Let's take a look together, huh? Live tutorial. Name your person ABWX. Start. Cheat and use turbo to go through the beginning. Or mash it, of course. 3 cutscenes. The dream, talking to your boss, and then talking to Nang. Next, slowly walk over, empty Rolf's inventory. You may as well step to the left every time you go into the menu because you have to go that direction anyway. So just to kind of show you what's going on. Normally, if he has nothing, you can't even go into the menu, right? So they did their homework there. But if you go into the bank, or the room, which is the bank, you go to keep baggage, and you enter someone with an inventory, then I guess through some oversight, they will allow you to open up the next person's inventory. So if I went to Rolf first, it would say like, oh, you have no items. But if I go to Nay and then come here, they will let you enter the inventory. And I have no items, so now you basically just have full access to the game. I can go up off the screen and all that jazz. This is the next button. You can go down off the screen. You can go up off the screen. And this is kind of all the stuff I talked about, where all these slots are connected to some other value or aspect of the game, and then from that slot in the game, you can pull a different number or letter or whatever value, and it'll pull a different item. So in this case, if you go to next, you can actually go an item slot above it, and that's the key tube in there, and you just leave it in there. And now you kind of have free reign. And now it sets that his phantom inventory instead of being empty, because you made it a phantom inventory in the bank, so now his inventory is exactly that the whole time. May's inventory is the same. Right? So that's pretty much the gist of it. And so there's things you can look at. She has a defense of 22. So when I go down to slot 16 and then press down 40 times to get to slot 56, I can use it, I can give it, or I can throw it away. And I can give it, and that value 22 is going to give me a Mundu. And then I want to change. I'm going to enter slot 56 again, but I want to change what that value is. I'm going to do that by not only de-equipping the carbon vest, but actually getting rid of it, which will, if you were here earlier, actually sets a different value than just unequipping it. It's Time or whatever, who is a person, but again, since just about every kind of trigger in this game is actually an item, this is what will allow you to get through the tube, to go left and past the dude who blows himself up. In order to glitch the cutscene, you actually go and select her. You select her, back out, go to the next and hit B and C at the same time, and you can dupe the item and give it to Nay again, so now I have 2 of her. And then you kind of just follow instructions from there. You change her defense value again, now you can see it's kind of glitched out a little bit. And then it'll get kind of funky when you discard the item instead of unequip it. Slot 56 again, this time you get the Nay shot. Re-equip the items, because even though she had them on before, again, you can see things are kind of funky there on the bottom right. So it's still a different value, and then you can slot 56 it again. Actually, this was slot 54, but that's neither here nor there. That's 56. So, like, my notes are linked on my channel, and it'll tell you exactly what to equip and unequip, and what item slots to go for, and all that stuff. Now instead of having to go get these things, they're just in my inventory already. Next thing you're gonna do is toss the ribbon, which will actually mess up her... Or no, I think the sandals does that. Oh, well, whatever, anyway. Slot 56 gives you the Visiphone, which is an item that lets you save anywhere. It actually used to never be gotten outside of marathon runs, but now it's actually part of the route. You just toss her sandals from here. You're done for this portion, but you just want to free up inventory space. Okay, you're gonna go sell one of Rolf's Phantom items. Slot 17 is the Laconia Helm, so you just get a free 14k Meseta right there, which is all you need. Menu's glitched, so my cursor is here on the right, but it's still buy and sell, so buy is the top one. I don't want to monomate though, so you don't want to do what I just did, but it doesn't really matter. You buy 2 telepipes to Nay, and 4 escapipes, and then you leave. Now, you can mess with menu stepping if you want, or you can just walk. If you do menu stepping correctly, every step that you do correctly does not increment the step counter, and so you can, in theory, push off encounters and maybe save 1 per transition or so. But there's a rhyme and a reason to when I do it. So when I go to the right, I have, I think, about 4 steps where I won't pan the camera, and I can just do it. But if I'm gonna do it, and I pan the camera, do you see how it kind of lags like that? So even though it works, it kind of slows you down. And the key, unfortunately, is that you're better off trying to just hope you have a God Walk instead of lagging every single step and potentially saving it and getting no encounters. It's still slower to menu step every single step and get 0 encounters, but to get lucky. You have nothing right now, so you have no choice but to run away. Nothing in here is going to kill you, so... well, I shouldn't say nothing, and of course you can get epically unlucky, but for the most part you're fine. I didn't know until speedruns you could enter this tube from the side, so it saves you a bit of walking. So in this tube you get through because you have the time item, so we're going to go through. And the storyline here is that you save his daughter, and she wears a veil and she talks shit to him, and so he kills her. And, you know, ironically, he's been robbing people to, like, help her keep ends meet. But once he realizes what he's done, he kills himself. So that's how you do that, but remember, we have a second one in here. So actually, if you just walk back in, it loads the cutscene again, and if you remember the cutscene, you start moving left. So it actually sends you back out, and then now I'm in a glitched state. And I get 0 encounters, and you can walk vaguely out of bounds like that. This used to be one of the most dangerous portions of the run, but now because you get 0 encounters because you're all glitched out from running the cutscene twice, you can just freely move in. And now that you visited the first 2 towns, go to Nay, use one of her 2 telepipes, go back home, and just mash B all the way through Ciarudo, and then kind of mash B here to say I don't want to rename her, but then you do want to reorganize and put both of them in their party. And then you're going to do the exact same thing again. Just empty Rudo's inventory. And the game doesn't learn. You're just going to perform the exact same trick. Go to the room, tell them to keep the baggage, go to Nay. Go to Rudo this time, and now he has the Phantom inventory. Go to slot 48. But this time, you're going to say, yes, I want to stay. You want to pick up your items now. The key tube goes to Nay. And the red card goes to Amy. And you can mash out of there. Kid's probably gonna block you, so be ready for that. Teleport to Alpuda. And now we're gonna buy some gear. So you only need one thing from the armor shop, that's the fiber gear. Give it to Amy. weapon shop, roll the gun. 2 ceramic bars go to Amy. I'm sorry, Nay. And 2 ceramic knives go to Amy. And then again, you kind of do the same thing. You have to eventually go to the right anyway, so every time you enter the menu, you may as well take one step. You can equip Nay. And then it's time to start pulling the Nay items. So again, this is slot 16, and you want slots 21 through 24. So give 21 to Nay. 22 to Amy, give 23 to Nay, and give 24 to Amy. And then equip her, put her fiber gear on, her ceramic knives on, and her Nay cape on, which will set defense values to a specific slot. Go to Naruto, slot 56. Give her the Nay Slasher. Basically repeat the process. This time you're going to put the carbon suit on and the Nay crown on instead. Slot 56 for Rudo again. And give her the Nay shield. Then your last combo is going to be to put the fiber gear back on, go into her inventory and toss her shoes. And then you're going to do 2 things here. Slot 46 to give her the green card on Rudo, and then slot 56. To give her the Nay Emil, and then you're all set there. Then it's time to set stats to specific item values. First, don't be an idiot like me. Buy a telepipe, give it to Amy. Then you're gonna buy antidotes on Rolf until all 4 boxes go black. Now all 4 of them are, then buy an additional 10. Then buy 2 Dimates. And then 17 Escapipes. If you did your money right, 39.60 is where you should be at. Change your order to put Rudo in front because it's time to buy him stuff. His is simpler. You're going to buy antidotes till 4 black boxes and then 29 after that. Head on out of here. So now you just put your glitch ladies in front, and Amy, Rolf in back. Doesn't really matter at this point. That's where I split. And then you just gotta walk your ass over all the way to Roarin'. You're gonna get an encounter at some point, but hopefully not for a while. So the key here is you're glitched, and having antidotes in slots 21 and 22, I believe, actually set Dark Force's curse on you to fight less furiously, which means you attack once instead of twice. So you have 2 possibilities here. If you have an encounter that has a low run percentage chance, you are probably going to be forced to fight it, and it's going to take a very, very, very long time. So if you're doing a PB attempt, you're probably resetting right here. If not, this is a very runnable battle. The curses actually go away as long as you finish a battle. You don't have to win it, you just have to start one and get out of it. So because this is runnable, I'm just going to try to get away. I didn't get away, which is fine. It's still faster than having to fight it. And now we're set. So now our ladies are glitched up completely, and they're ready to go. So now if I do hit a low run percentage encounter like this one, no problem. Set their strategies to attack, and then just go for it. you'll notice that sometimes the values are not as high as you might expect. It really just depends on the enemy. Everything's fine. Amy is going to gain a lot of levels, so be ready for that. Whatever the first battle you get into, Amy is going to gain lots and lots and lots of levels. So well, not as many as before. This is where you have to use the key tubes. It's in May's inventory. No problem. And then just see if you get owned or not. I typically do. One of the things you're going to have to learn with this game eventually, if you ever want to play it, is which battles you should run from and which battles you should engage. The always ideal is not getting into a battle in the first place, but sometimes you're just going to have to. So the mosquitoes you can have pretty bad luck on, but it's the mushrooms that you can't run from. So I will have to fight those, because I think their success rate is like 30 or 40%. Those same notes linked on my channel have run rates at the very end. And what does help make things easier is that palette swaps tend to have the same run rate as each other. So your green mosquitoes versus your yellow mosquitoes versus your blue mosquitoes have the same run rate, so you don't really have to memorize different things. You just gotta memorize that mosquito things have a 60% run chance. You don't need anything in this dungeon. This dungeon doesn't have anything anyway. It's all junk. This is the junkyard, Aurora. So your job here is just to go through as fast as you possibly can. And, you know, again, whether you choose to menu step or not, it's up to you. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, it's probably saving you, at best, one encounter per transition, which does add up, but it's not like you can't get some sweet times. You're probably not going to get less than a 40 without it, but... Well, actually, that's not really true. You probably could. Let me take that back. You definitely can get a sub 40 without it. I mean, yeah, sorry. I was thinking about how... without menu stepping, I think I had a 40, but then I also remembered that was like 2 routes ago, so yeah. You can get a sub 40, but it's not a big deal. You just gotta get lucky. One of the other things you can learn when you're menu stepping too is how many menu steps you can get away with, because the game actually resets the camera after every encounter. So you have a consistent amount of steps you can take to going up, down, left, and right. You can take 4 steps up and 4 steps right, 1 step down, and 5 steps left. So you'll typically see me do that as well. So like right there, I know it's just a 1 step, and I gotta keep walking like a normie. Talk to this guy on the right, and then just escape straight out of here. And then the jet scooter is going to be right here. This is where I split. You can split wherever. Just head straight up into the red dam. Who knew that talking your ass off would put you behind 5 minutes? But hey, Amy has the red card, so go to the door, use it, you're fine. And for the 4 dams, since you have 0 encounters, it's really just more about learning the layout. I would say every dam's layout's very, very, very easy, except for blue. Blue takes some work, but everything else should be fine. And now it's time for donation comments. Lay 'em on me, chat. Greetings from Palma. Palma can't possibly donate money because of the higher taxes, so I feel you. Just don't follow any pits in here, you'll be fine. Just follow the layout, you'll be alright. First time viewer, long time donator. $420.69. Towards keeping the annoying noise going. You got it. Keeping the annoying noise going is in the lead by $420.69. How did I start speedrunning Phantasy Star 2? Mostly just that, I had a lot of nostalgia for it. Again, Amy has the red card. And then Escapipe out of here. Sorry, I'll get to that in a second. Then go back to Nate. You don't have to do this, you can telepipe back. You can actually just go around the world and head straight to the green dam if you want. This is just what I do. Jiseed will go all the way around. In very ideal circumstances, not telepiping is slower, but being realist, it's about the same. Technically, I speedran this first, but I didn't get very far. The oldest routing of this game was actually really intense. There was a ton more item menuing you had to do, and you actually had to gain certain amounts of levels at certain times, and it was like really hard for me to keep track of. I didn't stick with it very long, and the record at the time was over an hour, so it was just a lot slower. So I didn't stick with it very long. I think I still tried it after 4, but this was let's see, Amy has the green card also. Amy has the first 2 dams cards. Second. But yeah, I actually barely stuck around with Phantasy Star at the time. I was an FF6 boy. This was when I was playing FF6 for like 2 or 3 years. So, but I really came back 2 routes ago when things got simpler as far as how you progress through the game. Basically, the big change that happened was just buying a bunch of antidotes and having that take care of your stats instead of basically gaining like 200 levels. I mean, that's not even the case. You gained like, I don't know, 60 levels or something, like 50 levels. But yeah, once I came back, and because the route was a lot easier, then I got back into it. And then Jiseed had put it down, but his time wasn't that optimized. So I actually ended up beating his time by 5 seconds. And just seeing my progress kind of kept me going. And then the menu stepping came out, and all that. And so that kind of kept me going. And then I got kind of tired of it. And I knew I was going to come back someday because Jiseed updated their route twice, but yeah, it's just because of Limit Break at this point in time that I'm actually grinding it. Well, I'm not even grinding it really, but you get what I mean. Son of a Submariner, damn. Yeah, the dungeons in this game are actually insane. Alright, use the green card again. Let's get pipe out of here. No shortcuts this time, so you gotta head straight up and then you gotta go around. So this would just be another example of bad luck. You have a 70% chance of running away from these ones, and I failed. Pugs you can run from, but it's actually the mosquito here. So the run rate's always based on the lower run chance. So that's a 60% chance right there. Yeah, so because nice ambush. We were talking about this earlier, so there's like a just the fact of life about this game, that the game populates certain areas of the world with encounters, and the world including overworld and dungeons. And then killing the first boss sets a flag that tells the game to populate the overworlds with new encounters, and then to populate certain like the rest of the dungeons for the rest of the game. But because I never actually fight that boss, because I don't have to, because I'm a big bad cheater, you never actually set that flag. And so places that already had encounters still have encounters, like this overworld, for example, and the Dizo overworld, and Rorin, and if I went to the Biosystems lab and all that, like, yep, they would still all have dungeons. Go to Nay, yellow card. But future dungeons, like the Dams, the Crevice, Noah, all four of the Dizo dungeons, Ikuto, and all the, I forget their names. They do not have encounters. Yeah, the game does swap Motavia's overworld encounters from monsters to robots. If you could go to Dizo early somehow, those encounters would be there regardless, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, this run would still be, like, fast, but yeah, obviously it wouldn't be as fast for sure. Like, it would still be less than an hour. Well, yeah, it'd probably still be less than an hour. It would just be more boring and more annoying for sure. It's definitely nice to not have the encounters. Like, we joke around a lot that, like, it's a walking simulator, but, like, which it is, don't get me wrong. Nothing interesting is happening, but, like, being peppered every dungeon by 50 encounters would not make it more interesting, that's for damn sure. What's up, Primus? It's an impressively bad pace because I'm also explaining everything that I'm doing. Like, to the point where at multiple times I stopped. Like, I wasn't even moving and was talking about stuff, so. Like, even commentating my own run live at Limit Break won't be this slow. Because I was, like, stopping and saying what I was gonna do, and then doing it, and then, like, giving examples, and then, like, blah blah blah. So, so even live, it's just like, I would probably not say a damn word while I was menuing. And then I would just explain everything that I explained all throughout these walking sessions instead. Which is what I did at Questing for Glory, and I got a 39, so it's like, I'm gonna be fine. Like, there's no way, I shouldn't say no way, but there's very little chance that this kind of pace happens at Limit Break. If only because, again, I'm not gonna stop and explain what I'm doing. I'm gonna explain what I'm doing, like, as I'm going, or as I'm walking, so. There's a lot to talk about until there's not. It doesn't have Rika, it does have Nay. Nay doesn't fall for Chaz, so. Does that mean this run is better? Alright, blue dam time. As mentioned before, like, all the dungeons are easy. This one's kind of annoying, though. There's only 5 floors, but there's like 17 transitions you make or something like that, so sometimes it's hard to keep track of. That's true, there's no Grizz. Probably because Grizz is dead. This game was ahead of its time, you know what I mean? Maybe. If she actually knows any of what's going on. Or else I'll just practice it myself, maybe. Off stream, I don't know. Blue chess. What an insult to Rolf. Now I feel bad. I mean, I'll take your opinion on it. So, like, obviously it's not ideal for, like, silence at any time, let alone specifically for menu glitching. But at the same time, it's like, there's a lot of walking in this game. And I feel like you have plenty of time afterwards to talk about that stuff, so I don't know. Like, unless we're, like, flooded with donations, which I friggin' doubt, like, for this run for me, like, there's plenty of time to have to fill up and talk about that stuff. But I also understand, like, and also agree I wouldn't want pure silence during that. So, I certainly don't mind any opinions or feedback. Yeah, that's right here. Idiot. No, I can, well, I'm pretty sure I can do it. Use the blue card, and you'll be automatically attacked by these dudes. If you're in a marathon, you actually probably want to fight them. There's actually a 1 in 256 chance that you successfully run away, and then you're just locked forever. Or you at least want to use your Visiphone if you want. Otherwise, if you want to go fast, you just run away 3 times. And they will capture you. And then you just gotta go through Gyra. There's really no trick in Gyra, you just gotta know the layout. There's one area you gotta do stuff, then... Yeah, I mean, if I can do Saga 1, where you literally can't make a single mistake with Deuceler and Tonic being idiots, then I feel like I'm pretty good. You can go under these damage tiles, which you want to do. The damage itself is kind of irrelevant, but as you can see, since it lags you, you can dodge as many as you can. But that's really all you gotta do in this place. And then you gotta listen to this. And then anywhere on this console, you can just hit A. You can't mash through these next 2 or 3 text boxes, but yeah. Once Tyler shows up, then you can start mashing. $4.04. Greetings again from Palma. Just found the cure to cancer. Some jerk just set off the alarms though. Yeah, that works. I think worst case scenario, I could probably just type something up. months to think about it, so that's what I'll do. Okay, play all the cutscenes again, go back to your house twice, because it basically started you over, so you kind of have to re-recruit Amy and Rito, put them in the party, put the girls in front again. Specifically Rolfson back, because he's the least likely to get hit. Go to the roof, and fly to Dizo. And you don't want him to die if you can help it. Here you actually want to use the Visiphone. Save it, doesn't really matter what you do, just save the game, which will set your telepipe point to Dizo, so use it, and now you don't have to do that entire dungeon. And then just head to the crevice. Hopefully you don't get any encounters. Birds you can run from. Boom, now you're in the crevice. This is again just another area. There'll be 0 encounters and you just gotta run through. There's really no danger unless you're not paying attention like me and you accidentally fall into the pit. Otherwise it's not a big deal. Okay. Was that Rika's sister? It's like Rika's ancestor. Or like, Ney is like Proto Man and Rika's like Mega Man, except they're not alive at the same time. Alright, see you, MPI. Thanks for hanging out. Ney is like Mega Man and Rika's like Mega Man X. There you go. Ney first is Proto Man, Ney is Mega Man, Rika is Mega Man X. And the entire people of Earth is Dr. Wily, and Profound Darkness is... I don't even know who the enemy of X is. Like, is Sigma actually the real enemy? Here you can just talk to the same NPC twice. Whether you go left or right is irrelevant. But who is Mr. X? They're real questions. Ney is more of a 0? Okay, so mash through this. Then talk to him again without getting the chest. You can mash through this too, but you can tell the sound is glitched. So just give it a couple pauses. Grab the Ney sword, and then make sure you're mashing confirms here, and then you'll go to Noah. And then again, just follow the route. And even though the bosses might seem intimidating, you really just hold attack. And that's really all you can do. So, I mean, during the fights, I can tell you what things will crush your time, but you really have 0 control over it, so there's really nothing to learn about the boss fights. You can just know what to look out for to see if you're gonna PB or not, basically. But there's really nothing you can do. There's nothing to learn here. He's Noah in 1 and Lutz in 2. LUTs in both. No learning, just walking. And if you wanna swing your hips while you walk to the beat, feel free. Alright, talk to the treasure chest. And literally just... Well, okay, so if you didn't have to fight any encounters in Dizo, you do need to remember to set Amy back to attack. Otherwise, go ahead and go. And at this point in time, you really just pray nobody misses. That's okay. You can really afford up to 2 misses, it's fine. Rudo gets cursed, that's not a big deal. Rudo and Rolf are going to be the first to get cursed no matter what. So 2 misses is the absolute max you want to see. More than that requires an extra round. All of this outside of the misses, I guess, are basically normal, so you're still rolling. It would be ideal from here for him to AoE instead. Okay, good. That leaves Nay, who would be next, uncursed. Alright, cool. If you do get cursed, what you're looking out for are minor curses, if you're lucky. I mean, you're unlucky to get cursed, but you can be lucky from there to get minor curses, which is less agility or fights less furiously, or can't use techniques, which will just lower the amount of attacks they do. But if you get, like, doubts themselves, or tries to search others, then you're effed. Here, confirm first, then cancel second. And here you can literally, if everyone's dead, just hit the fight button once and go. If someone's alive, like Rudo here, you'll have to be wary because he will die eventually and you can mash through that text. But after that, just watch. The problem with Mother Brain is that she has a flat, I believe, 25% dodge rate. So there's really nothing you can do. Hopefully you miss as less as possible, and then that's it. You have more than enough HP to take everything that you can do to you. So there is 0 danger. All you need to do is just try to go fast. And you go fast by praying. Alright, mash through, and then time ends on the last text box. I can't actually remember what the fastest options are for yeses and nos, but if you just mash hella fast all the way through, it basically doesn't matter. Split. So, there you go. That's the game. So even with standing around for like 2 or 3 minutes explaining stuff, it's still a 43, so I mean, I'm not too worried about it. And there's all these party members we totally never got. And yeah, good times. You too can get at least a 43 by being distracted by talking the whole run while you do the run.